Guys, happy Tuesday. So today Rod Griffin couldn't be here, so I'm here, Christina Roman, and I have Alex who's manning the camera, and today we're going to talk about credit scores. And the reason we're going to talk about credit scores is because every Tuesday and Thursday Rod Griffin is here and he answers your credit questions, and one of the common credit questions that we receive is, what's a good credit score? So we're going to take you through two popular credit scoring models. And I do want to remind you that there are more than 1,000 credit scoring models out there, and there's industry-specific models like auto industry, mortgage industry, but today we're going to talk about the two popular models, which are FICO and Vantage. Now, FICO was created by the Fair Isaac Corporation, and it's one of the popular models used when creating credit scores, and Vantage Score was created by the three credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So I'm going to go through the breakdown of the different models. You'll find that both models are 300 to 850 in the scoring range. Now, FICO, the way they break theirs down is 350 to 579 is considered very poor, which means that you're probably not going to get approved for any credit. So you have some things that you have to work on. 580 to 669 is fair. Still not going to get, you still may not get approved, or you may get approved for loans at really high interest rates. 670 to 739 is considered good, and here you're going to start getting approved for a little bit more things, but the interest rate may still not be where you want it to be. At 740 to 799, you're looking at very good. And what that means is you're probably going to get approved for cards with competitive rates. And then 800 to 850, you're exceptional. So this, a lot of people say, how can I get into the 800s? You're really close to it. And Rod says sometimes it's really difficult to get into that higher range. But just as long as you're doing things every day to make sure that you're being smart with credit, to improve your credit. And remember, as I'm going through this, wherever you are right now, you're not, if you have a low credit score, you're not going to stay there. If you do things to improve it, like making your payments on time, reducing your debt. So you want to do these things to improve your credit. And just remember, it may seem like an uphill battle right now, but it's not going to stay that way. Okay, now let's go into Vantage Score. This was created by the three credit bureaus. And again, it's the same 300 to 850. At 300 to 549 is considered very poor. 550 to 649 is considered poor. 650 to 699 is considered fair. 700 to 749 is good. And 750 to 850 is excellent. And you'll notice in the difference between the models, to be exceptional, you have to be at 800 to 850 in FICO. But to be excellent in Vantage Score, 750 to 850. So you have a little bit more room to be exceptional in the Vantage point. If you have any questions about these scores as you go along, feel free to let us know. Alex is manning the camera right now. And then also, I did write down some things that both credit scoring models, how they rank different things. So with FICO, most influential is the payment history. Highly influential is the total debt owed. Huh?
No, someone said hi.
Oh,
and yes,
hi.
We are taking questions.
Yes. So moderately influential is the length of credit history, and less influential is new credit and the credit mix. And by credit mix, they mean credit cards, auto loans, home loans. So that's what they mean by that. So again, for FICO, most influential is payment history. Highly influential is total debt owed.
Please read that when you have the chance.
Please what?
When you have a chance, go ahead and please repeat what you just said from one of our followers.
Yeah, so for FICO, when they're doing their scoring, this is kind of how they're ranking things. Most influential is payment history. Highly influential is total debt owed. Moderately influential is length of credit history. And less influential is new credit and credit mix, which is credit cards, home loans, auto loans. So that's what they're looking for. Now, when you come to Vantage Score, most influential is payment history. Highly influential is age and type of credit, and also the percentage of your credit limit used. Moderate is total balances in debt, and less influential is recent credit behavior and inquiries.
We had a couple of other questions. I know that Christina and I spoke earlier, and I apologize if we do miss a couple. Please post them up if we do miss. Both of us spoke earlier. Both of our credit scores range in the good, which we are very happy about. There was another question about, I think, negative marks. If you'd like, you can repost that. And then I know I read one about that you might be able to answer. That when you go to, I believe it's a like an agency to help, if that really does help out with your score.
Like a credit repair agency, is that what they're talking about?
I believe so.
So one thing we like to say is there's nothing that you can pay somebody to do for you that you can't do for yourself for free. And Rod likes to say that sometimes your money is better spent toward reducing debt than it is toward paying somebody to help you with your credit. Because if the negative marks on your report are true, then they're not going to be able to remove them. They're going to stay there. So you're better off just either talking to a nonprofit credit counselor like the NFCC, and you can find one at nfcc.org. They may be able to help you, and just really looking into how you can change your credit behaviors, whether it's paying your bills on time, catching up on bills you may be delinquent on, calling your lenders, seeing if they'll work for you, that you may be better served to do that.
Why do collection agencies simply post whatever the collection agencies report? I don't know if that's something we can answer.
The credit bureaus, why do they post whatever? If I'm not entirely sure how to answer that, but I would say if you had a dispute that you need to file, you can go to Experian.com/dispute and let Experian know how they filed it wrong, and then we can go back to the collection agency and see if they can correct that. So I hope that helps. It's Experian.com/dispute. All right, guys, so this, Alex is going to run through in a minute how long different things stay on your credit report, but I do also want to let you know that there are other things aside from credit scores that your lenders take into account when considering giving you a loan of some sort or credit of some sort. And so I want to just let you know, they do take in your total debt, the types of credit that you have, any derogatory marks that you may have on your report, and your debt to income ratio. So it's not all just your credit score. That's a big part of it. But you also, when you're about to apply for a loan, you want to check your score at least 6 months in advance, and you want to look at these items: your credit score, your total debt, the types of credit that you have, any derogatory marks that are on your credit report, which Alex is going to show you right now, and your debt to income ratio. All right, Alex, go ahead and take it away.
So for everyone that is just tuning in, again, we want to thank you for joining us for our credit chat. Anyone that's coming in, we are talking about a question that's avidly asked is what makes a really great credit score? Now, even with a really great credit score, there are things that do stay or have like a mark. So we have a listing of a few things with different time frames of them being on it. So the first one is inquiries, which last 25 months. So credit inquiries occur when your credit report is excess. Only hard inquiries, those resulting from your application for credit over the last year, impact your FICO score.
Here, come over on this side.
Powered by Experian, though. So let's move on. Chapter 13, bankruptcy, allows you to pay back some or sometimes all of your debt with lenders. That, as we said, stays for 7 years. Next is civil judgments, both paid and unpaid. So with civil judgments, there actually has been, in addition to this, since July of this year, the same goes for tax liens that are paid. Both as of July 2017, in order for a tax lien or civil judgments to remain on a credit report, it would have to list 3 data points: a person's name, their address, and either their social security number or date of birth. Otherwise, they will no longer appear. With that, we also have late payments. So as we say a lot here at Experian is that we always encourage to make sure that payments are made on time. So when they're not made on time and they do become late, it is on there for 7 years. With any sort of late payment, regardless if the payment is made and the account is current or if the account is closed and the payment is never received. So it's always good to make sure that all of your bills are going through correctly and it's going through maybe the correct account to make sure that something like that doesn't happen. Chapter 7, bankruptcy. Things change here because then that's going to be for 10 years. So with Chapter 7, you don't repay any of the debt and it remains on your credit report for 10 years if petitioned and discharged. If Chapter 7 is missed, then the bankruptcy will remain on your credit report for the 7 years from the filing date. So tax liens unpaid remain in your credit report for 10 years from the filing date. And last year we have closed accounts. With closed accounts, if no negative history exists, the account is removed from your credit report for 10 years after the account is closed. So with each one of these things, each of them having a different duration of how long. As we said, inquiries range from 25 months, things like Chapter 13 or 7 years, and as we go down, Chapter 7 will be at 10. So we hope that these tips do help so that there aren't any marks on your credit reports.
All right, thank you so much, Alex. So guys, I think one of the most surprising things about how long certain things stay on your credit report is that late payments. Some people, they don't realize that when they don't pay their credit card, or they're like, whatever, I'll get to it when I can, that's going to seriously affect your credit. So if you are trying to decide between not making a payment or paying late, then you want to talk to your lender and see if they can work with you, especially if it's a student loan, because I know I had those issues when I was fresh out of college, and we just did a whole thing on Snapchat about paying back your student loans. If you're having a hard time paying your student loans, contact your lenders and see if they can work with you, because that will greatly benefit you. So I'm super happy that Alex was able to break this down for you. I hope this really helped you. And then also I hope you enjoyed the breakdown of the FICO and Vantage Score. As I mentioned, this is one of the more common questions we receive in Rod's Tuesday and Thursday scopes. So we hope now you have a pretty clear picture of it. Somebody asked about how to calculate their total credit utilization. So you take your total balances of like your credit cards that are available to you, and you divide it by the amount that you used. Or, I'm sorry, you divide the amount that you've used, you add all that up by the total available to you, and then you'll get your percentage. And it's not only wholly the usage, but it's each individual. So they look at the individual usage of each credit card and the total amount used. So you want to know both of those numbers. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's scope. I hope you learned something. If you have, please feel free to share it with your friends. If you just joined in, please go back and watch the replay, because we shared a lot of great information with you. And I just want to remind you, these are only 2 scoring models. There are 1,000+ scoring models out there, including industry-specific scoring models. So when you're thinking about, when you're getting a credit score from like an auto lender or mortgage lender, and you see that it doesn't really add up to what you had before, just remember they take different things into account. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. We will be back here tomorrow to talk about ways to deal with financial stress in our credit chat that happens every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Pacific. Have a great day.